Okay, folks. Good afternoon and welcome to everybody to our second event in what we call our Global Crossroads Series. And the series is sponsored by the School of Global Studies. And so again, I want to welcome you. Let's get right into it because we've got a lot to get through, right? And so what we have, as you might see, and I'll introduce them as we proceed here, but we're going to, the order of operations here is we'll have a kind of lightning round from the representatives of our various organizations. And really the intent of the program is to give faculty, staff, and students a kind of idea of what the opportunities or the range of opportunities might be for extracurricular or co-curricular kinds of activities, whether they be internships, study abroad, and so on and so forth. So, right, we don't have everybody here. We couldn't have all representatives of the organizations that can provide these sorts of opportunities, but hopefully we have kind of a range of organizations that can give you an idea of what kind of opportunities exist. So what we're going to do is that we're going to have a kind of a lightning round so that the representatives of the organizations here can kind of give you a brief introduction to their organizations and perhaps what kind of opportunities there might exist for students there, internships and perhaps other types of opportunities as well. So, are we ready? Should we go ahead with the lightning round?
Let's do it.
So, Chris, if I could call on you first.
So we have undergraduate students, faculty, advisors, so we have a mix of people right here.
Yes.
It's not just all undergraduate students, I'm guessing. So, hi everyone, my name is Chris Elsner. I coordinate the Peace Corps Prep Program. I'm also a returned Peace Corps volunteer, served in Ukraine from 2008 to 2010. I was a Coverdell Fellow at U of A from 2011 to 2013. And we want to talk about Peace Corps and a couple of opportunities for students, how that works. So Peace Corps, if you don't already know or are not familiar with it, is a volunteer service program with the U.S. government where you spend 2 years living in another country, supporting those communities with everything from teaching English, math, and science to health education, environmental, agricultural best practices, economic development, youth development. It always depends on the needs of the country and the community, and then the skill set of the volunteer. Now, at the same time, Peace Corps volunteers are participating in a cultural exchange, so you are teaching that community all about American life and society and culture while learning about their community, culture, language, and society. So after you finish those 2 years of service and come back to the United States, you're able to help other Americans better understand about different people and places all around the world. To be a Peace Corps volunteer, you got to be 18, you got to be a U.S. citizen, and you need to have a bachelor's degree or 5 years of experience. So Peace Corps itself is typically something that a student would do after graduating with their bachelor's degree. One thing to note about Peace Corps is it's all expenses paid. They cover travel, housing, living expenses, medical and dental coverage. So really all that's required to be a volunteer is time. There's no upper age limit to being a Peace Corps volunteer. You can serve at any point in life, except if you have kids, because you cannot take children with you as a Peace Corps volunteer, but you can apply to serve with a partner or spouse. So that is kind of just a quick overview of what Peace Corps is, what they do. I can happily go into more depth if you want to talk to me or more questions. For current undergraduate students, we have something called the Peace Corps Prep Program. This is what I run here on campus, and this is a certificate program for undergraduate students to participate in while they are studying here at U of A. Helps them prepare for Peace Corps service, international service more broadly. Most of our requirements are met through the regular course of study that students are participating in, so there really isn't a lot of extra work to participate in the prep program. We accept everyone who applies. If you finish the program, and there's no actual obligation to do so, but if you finish it, you'll get a certificate from Peace Corps, and then later on down the road, if you do want to apply for Peace Corps, you then have a competitive advantage when doing so. And so my colleague Caleb is our campus recruiter. So Caleb is a fellow returned Peace Corps volunteer. He was an environmental educator in Nicaragua. So he works typically more with students who are in their junior, senior year, who maybe missed out on the prep program or are ready to jump into the application process. I'm still happy to do that with students as well, but I try to focus more on students earlier in their academic career. Because one thing to note about the application process for Peace Corps is it does take 6 to 8 months. And so it's not something a student can really jump into your semester that you're graduating, takes a little time to get through that process, so you want to kind of get a head start on that. And just be aware of some of the timelines and logistics, which there's a lot of that that I can go into. But that's about as quick an overview as I think I can provide. For any faculty members here who might be interested in like global, internships, service projects, I'm always looking to expand the Peace Corps program, and if you have opportunities for myself or for Caleb to come in and speak with classes, clubs, student organizations, we're always happy to do so. And if you have thoughts on global service projects or things like that, I'd be happy to chat with you about those. So, there's 3 minutes. But
yeah, thanks, Chris. Over the years, any number of global studies students that have gone on a Peace Corps experience. A student in the capstone, the current GLS capstone course is going to be departing, I guess sometime this summer, but she's going to be serving in Upper Macedonia. So, like I said, yeah, thanks again. Center for Career Readiness, Jordan.
That's me.
Yeah, good, thank you.
Hello everyone, good afternoon, good to be here. I'm excited to be present with y'all and in this space to share some good information. My name is JT, I'm the program manager of an awesome space on campus. It's called Life Lab. Life Lab is essentially a drop-in career-based resource center that exists on campus here for students. We're a part of a larger department, which is Center for Career Readiness. It's the general and main career support that exists for students on campus. Through our department, we host our career counseling appointments. Majority of the on-campus career fairs are facilitated through the Center for Career Readiness, so things like the STEM Career Day, the All Majors Career Day, and some of the other career fairs that go on are facilitated by our department. There's also things like workshops, resume workshops, cover letter workshops, how to apply, interview workshops, everything you can think of in the realm of career and to help you and support you in the steps to take you to whatever your goals or ambitions are. I think if all this information goes through one ear and out the other, I think the biggest thing to remember is that Life Lab is really like the front door to our resources and supports on campus. So we usually like to angle and direct students to come through Life Lab because students are coming to us with a wide range of career inquiries and goals and aspirations. And there's a lot of engagements, resources, and things that exist on campus that our team is aware of, not just only within our department, but within the greater campus things that are happening. And so the first step for a student to kind of like really inquire about their career is just being curious. And so Life Lab is the place for them to do that. You don't need an appointment, it's drop-in. We're open Monday through Friday, 12 to 5 p.m., which is really cool. And we're located in the Bear Down Gym, so we're right next to the Writing Center in the heart of the Student Success District, which helps us, get a lot of traffic and whatnot as well. I'm not typically doing these meetings. I have a wonderful team of peer students who are Life Lab guides. Callie is a part of our team as well. And so it's a peer model in which students feel the comfort and have, less of a stress or anxiety around who they're going to be meeting with. And their expertise is understanding how our department's resources can support that student-specific journey, but then what else is going around campus, and then also using their student expertise and student knowledge to help students navigate their career journey. But that's kind of like the realm of our work. And again, if all this went through one ear and out the other, right? Just remember where to go. All right, we'll clap on one since we remembered. Oh, we got a question.
Yeah, can you say a little bit about what might be available, what resources are available to online students and how they can access those?
Yeah. So depends on what they might come in for, but we do offer a variety of resources. One, Life Lab is, we have a virtual drop-in room, so they can come to Life Lab. Career counseling meetings, they can make appointments on Handshake. So Handshake is another big thing, which just come to Life Lab, will help you understand what the greater landscape of that is too, but they can make appointments to meet with folks virtually. There's virtual workshops as well. A lot of the things that we're doing in person, we try to scale virtually as well, understanding that we do have online populations and folks in the global campus as well. Good question. Any other questions? We'll clap on one.
Good.
What a great audience. Three,
Thanks,
two,
Jeremy.
one.
So, Dakota is going to join us from the International Rescue Committee. And I think if there was a nonprofit in Tucson where perhaps the greatest number of our global studies students have interned over there, it is with the IRC. So thank you for that.
Yeah, absolutely, and they're employed there too, so.
Yeah,
Really good pathway, hopefully I hit this right. Cool, I always like to include a slideshow, not as much for you as it is for me. But a lot of people recognize this symbol in the top left, the black arrow with the yellow backdrop, because a lot of people get bombarded with it on social media and things of that nature. But we're here at the International Rescue Committee, the IRC. We do have a local office here in Tucson. We were founded in 1933 by Albert Einstein, and this is important because it informs the way that our work has developed over the previous nearly 100 years now. So we actually work our mission is to help people whose lives and livelihoods are shattered by conflict and disaster, including climate crisis, to survive, recover, and grab control of the future. We do that across the globe, and so being founded by Albert Einstein, it was a response to World War II and the atrocities that were happening during that time. And what eventually formed were two different responses to that. There was a European response and a US response that formed together to create the IRC and give us such a robust network. Here locally in the United States, we operate in around 37 different cities. For students who might be traveling back home for the summer, all of these offices offer internships for the summer, fall, and the spring. And then this just talks a little bit more, sorry, 349. This talks a little bit more about our work. So internationally, it might be what you know the IRC for, so emergency relief, protection, and assistance for refugees, post-conflict, and disaster relief. And then in the United States, we operate in a system that's called RIE, so it's Resettlement, Asylum, and Integration. So all the programming that we do in the United States is specifically funneled towards one of those three initiatives. Just some stats, just so you all know the need. 123.2 million people forcibly displaced worldwide, and that's as of last year with the UNHCR. And you can see some of the trends here as well. So the need is great. And here locally in the Tucson office, what we do is we partner with the UNHCR and the State Department to resettle refugees, asylees, and immigrants into the Tucson community locally. We have a large suite of programs and what that can look like, but the ways that individuals get involved externally for professors or administration professionals, we love to have students in as interns. But additionally, we have a number of different volunteer opportunities like food distributions, or what we call our New Roots Open Garden Days, where we support local farmers who have been resettled here from an agrarian background to succeed by giving them an urban farm initiative. We do have a bunch of summer internships that are open, and I have a QR code outside that you can scan if you're a student or a faculty member that might want to spread this out to your students, and they're all listed on there as well. But more importantly as well, we also have fall internships, and we have spring internships as well, so really year-round in all of our programs. So everything from PIR, which is the Program for Initial Resettlement, to our safety and wellness services working with survivors of trafficking or survivors of torture as well. So a large suite, but it's kind of us in a nutshell. Any questions?
Where are you located, Dakota, in Tucson?
We unfortunately have signage at Craycroft at the old office, and they won't take it down. But that is not where we're located. It's at Broadway and Country Club. Right there, kind of in the old, I think it's the, I think it was the Salvation Army Lotse building. But it's on the south side of East Broadway if you're heading east. Yeah, so right there. And that's where all of our internships in Tucson are in person and take place at that location as well. Cool. Thank you guys.
Dakota. Well, our last guest, we're very, very pleased to have join us. Dr. Bhattacharya, if I may introduce you very briefly, and you feel free to add any additional information you might want. But Dr. Bhattacharya is a career civil servant at the United Nations.
Retired.
I'm sorry?
Retired.
Retired, yes. And has relocated to Tucson, but is very willing, as I think we'll soon see, to engage us, students, faculty, staff, in thinking about potential opportunities for volunteerships or internships and what the like may be with the United Nations. And so, Dr. Bhattacharya, thank you so much
Thank you.
for
Thank you very
joining
much.
us.
As Dr. Bates was mentioning, I moved here with my family about 2 years ago after spending about 25 years at the United Nations headquartered in New York, and I worked in the office of the Secretary General. His function is to implement all the decisions that are taken by the global community in whole range of ways. I do not have time to go into it, but little bit of history. The United Nations was formed in 1946 after the League of Nations, which was before that. After First World War, they set up League of Nations based in Geneva, but it could not prevent Second World War because the way the organization was set up, and there is anybody could veto whatever decision. Anyway, they learned from it, and another important lesson they learned was that United Nations has to be based in the United States, because in Geneva it was not a part of the United States purview as it is here. And that was 80 years ago, 1946. 53 countries were the original signatories to the United Nations, and we have a constitution, and as of now, 193 countries are represented at the United Nations. In addition to that, there are many non-governmental organizations, NGOs, etc., etc. I will not give you the whole picture, but I just want to show you one of the, Javi, if you could, yeah. So this is the organization now. When we talk about United Nations, we don't realize that it's such a huge place. Each of these things are one organizational entities, and this is the brain of Secretariat, and all these commissions are under the purview of the Secretariat. But there are so many other ways organizations are attached to the United Nations. Now, for the students, I thought I will mention two things. There is an internship program at the United Nations. Now, United Nations Secretariat has an internship program, and many of the agencies also have internship programs. There is some similarities between them, but there is also different requirements, etc. And I will quickly go through them. I have it in the website. But before I do that, I just want to summarize what I personally was involved in terms of recruitment and other things. One way the young students can become part of the United Nations, there is a competitive examination that is offered. Not all the countries this is offered. It is only offered in those countries where there are not enough citizens participating in the United Nations. It's supposed to be the organization that belongs to everybody. So for underrepresented countries, this is done. For American citizens, that is one way you can see whether they are offering this as an opportunity for you to take the exam and then interview, etc., etc. And of course, there is an internship program, and also there is an UN volunteers program. All kinds of opportunities are there, and they are not very restricted to a secretariat. All these organizations have their own ways. They seek support from people, particularly those that have idealism and believe in the United Nations. So, given the shortness of time, what I'd like to do is to quickly go over this website, which is called the, very simple, un.org. And if you look at, this is the, if you go to un.org, first slide will give you which language. There are 6 official languages, Spanish, French, etc. Click on English, which I do, and then on the top you go and write internship program, search, then this comes out. Okay? So, if you, can you open this one, please? You see, why be a United Nations? What will I do as an intern? Am I eligible to? All these questions are here. So I would very much urge you, those of you who are interested, to go to this website and thoroughly familiarize with what opportunities exist that may be, that you may be able to look at. But one thing I must tell you, if you want to work in any of these organizations, people will ask you, why do you want to work here? I used to ask that also when I was interviewed. Just saying that I'm interested in it is not good enough, you know. You have to develop some sensibilities and perhaps some even papers, term papers, good term papers, and some term papers, they are so good they're even published in a local, something like that, that gives them an indication that yes, this person is serious about the United Nations. Remember, there is a tremendous amount of competition for these positions. If you kindly go up more, you can see, go back please, and keep going back, keep going up please. You see there are all these opportunities. The UN Volunteers Program is another one. Competitive examination another. I tell you how I became part of this. I was a professor teaching in a university in India, and I did my PhD in population economics, and I had some publications. And when I went back to India, United Nations got in touch with me, saying that they want to open a new branch called Population and Development, and they would like me to head that branch. That's how they brought me here. So if you do good research, and publication is very important, you know. Publication does not necessarily have to be in terms of very reputable journals. Even if there's a lot of opportunities to present your publications in Tucson area, I can see that. Even that, develop some kind of a record that this is my interest and this is what I do. Now, given the shortness of time, I will not be able to go more deep into it, but my invitation to you, this is the website you should look at. And I do come to this Center for Latin American Studies to attend seminars, and Marcela and Javi and now Professor P.S., they all know me. I'll be very much available to informally advise you guys on how to take the step. Remember, United Nations represents the world. All the people in the world are represented by the United Nations. And this is the organization that tries to articulate the aspirations and hopes that we all deserve and we should have. Of course, we are not perfect, because organization is not perfect because we are not perfect. We articulate our weaknesses and our strength. But the idealism behind the United Nations is one global family where we all are connected together, independent of our language, culture, where we come from, how we look. We are bound together by a common humanity. That's the idealism of the United Nations, and that's what this organization tries to do. Thank you so much. Anybody have any questions, I'll be happy to, if you wish.
Are these paid internships?
Some internship are paid, some are not paid. Some internship they got an offer and then you have to take your own finances to go there, and then they give you your own accommodation. I used to be involved in local colleges. In New York City, they are very much in an advantageous position regarding the UN. But people from Tucson, one other thing I would like to mention, there are regional commissions, United Nations, to look at the particular regions, one for Middle Eastern countries, one for Asia, one for Latin America. CELADE, Center for Latin American Studies, is in Chile. And there is a Central American Center also in Costa Rica. I would very much urge you to look at those places and see what kind of opportunities they might have that will be much more practical in terms of locational advantage that you may have. Thank you.
Very good. We go to